We are transmitting. Good afternoon, folks. Happy sources say happy hour Zoom action plus Stephen Peake day again. Crossover number 2. Just a booming success, obviously, on day 1, because when you get all of these just brilliant minds, unbelievable minds, and wacky minds with Stephen Peake, of course it's going to go well, and it was a good luck charm because Kentucky went on to defeat the we are live, by the way. We are live, so we might bring you on.
I'll take it from you. Thank you.
All right. So it was a good luck charm because Kentucky went on to defeat Santa Clara in just the most unbelievable fashion imaginable with an overtime finish. But to get to overtime, you got the highs of just thinking up 7, game's over. Let's start planning for Sunday, and then that comes crashing down. You get the Allen Graves, what was thought to be a game winner, and then just the almost unbelievable shot I've ever seen from Otega Oweh, a half-court heave to send it to overtime, and Kentucky's able to hold on tight and move on to the round of 32, where they will take on the Iowa State Cyclones. So we are here right outside Busch Stadium, and it's stunning. Not the rooftop view that we're used to, but this is definitely a very close second. Jack Pilgrim, Brandon Ramsey, Stephen Peake, and the one and only Tyler Thompson. It's been a busy day, folks. Been a very, very busy day, but let's go back to yesterday, Brandon, with a big-time victory for the Cats. Your 24-hour later takeaways.
Survive in advance. We did it. Never apologize for winning, as I say after most games. That one is one that you probably could apologize for it because some things went crazy in order to get the win, but that's what March is all about. Like, you just find a way. We're the team that's moving on to the round of 32, and they're not. Ultimately, that's all that matters. Kentucky did some really good things at different times. There was some really frustrating points to the game where they, weren't attacking the basket enough. They got lost on three-point shooters still a little bit too often. But ultimately, they defensive rebounded relatively well. Only 11 turnovers in an overtime game against a team that pressures you the way they do is a good thing. And then, Otega Oweh just took over like the All-SEC player that he is with 35 points. What was the stat line? That it was like him, Larry Bird, Oscar Robertson, and somebody else, Bill Bradley, that have had 37, 8, and 7, or 35, 8, and 7, whatever it was. And I talked about this last night. Probably, whether it was intentional or not, the highest IQ play of Otega Oweh's career was that game-tying shot. For him to catch it kind of on a banana cut, go into the basket, for him to know how much time was left and not just rush up a three-quarter court shot. He actually took 3 dribbles. He knew how much time he had, got to 38 feet, which is so much higher percentage than 58 feet or 78 feet. So impressed with, obviously that shot's kind of lucky, admittedly, but the rest of his game was just outstanding, and then you find a way to win and you move on.
Among the best shots you've ever seen, Tyler Thompson, we've Aaron Harrison, we had the highest highs of March Madness moments, James Young's dunk, and those types of March Madness moments. Where did that stack up for you among the best?
I think it's going to be really hard to top any of Aaron Harrison's shots just because they were so unexpected, and they were later in the NCAA tournament. They started in the second weekend, I believe. I think Brandon Knight's in the 2011 run were huge. DeAndre Liggins had a big shot during that tournament, too. I go back to, I think the last one that was kind of like that was Tyler Hero versus Houston in 2019, and that was the last time I was at that game covering it. As media members, we're not supposed to show emotion on press row, which is just cruel sometimes because how can you not show emotion during moments like that? I remember in that game I was sitting next to Derek Terry and I smacked his arm whenever the ball went in. So I kind of did a little bit of that. I threw my arms in the air when Oweh's shot went in yesterday. And I don't know about you guys, but I've watched it like a million times since. And there's nothing more fun than just watching the replays from every angle with Pope's reaction, with the bench's reaction. There was a great picture of the bench celebrating, and in the back you can see the crowd. And I just went in and I zoomed in on all these great moments. It's like you can see Mark Pope's daughter Shay just jumping and going crazy. You can see, Trent Noah and Braden Hawthorne and Zach Tao just going nuts, and Jasper Johnson running down the baseline to go embrace Oweh. It's been a long time since we've had something that fun, like a singular fun moment. So I've just been enjoying that. Just like going through all the videos, all the pictures, like moments like that just make it all worth it.
Stephen, we went to the UK locker room today and just asked all the players, how many times have you watched it? Like dozens, hundreds? You know, I know, Stephen, you were at one point keeping count, and that did not go well for you. You
got to 47.
47.
And that was the last number I remember counting.
Yeah.
It's at least 48, but probably a lot more than that. All the angles.
But talking to the players today, I think they were like trying to navigate the emotions of, man, like that was such a cool singular moment that we'll be talking to our grandkids about one day. Well, also, like, hey, we also have to go win a basketball game in 48 hours, so how do you juggle that? I think the answers were all very good. I joked with a lot of them. There was like, no, yeah. Otega is the superstar of March Madness right now. He's the celebrity, gets a B-Dubs deal. He's on ESPN. He's every time you refresh TikTok or Instagram Reels or whatever, his face shows up somewhere. So I was like, how are you guys keeping him grounded and not like being too cool for school? And they all said the right things, like, oh no, he's a big leader and he does.
Some of them didn't know you were joking.
He refuses to get caught up in all. I'm like, yeah, obviously, but you know, it's. When you get a moment that big, like, he deserves to get a little bit of a big ego. So I enjoyed those interactions in the locker room.
Yeah, it was cool. Talking with Otega after a moment like that, I don't know that they get it right now. I don't know if it's possible that they could understand it right now, how massive a moment it was when you see videos from all over the Commonwealth, all over the country. Had some people saying they were celebrating in Brisbane, Australia. We just played a guy from Brisbane, Australia. We had Queensland, Australia. I don't know why we have so many Kentucky fans in the land down under, but they're just all over the world. There were Kentucky fans from, Big Blue Nation is global, and I don't know that Otega even fully realizes what he did.
You asked him that, and he said, I don't realize it right now.
Yeah, and I was trying to, it was a long-winded question to get out do you understand, like, people are going to show their kids this, their grandkids, your great-grandkids are going to see this shot. Like, it's a big deal. And the amount of happiness that he brought to not just the state of Kentucky, but all around the world, as I said, with everyone who's associated with this basketball program. It's one of the coolest things, probably the coolest moment that I've ever seen in person. Probably will never see anything like it again. I mean, quite honest. I mean, that 15 seconds of basketball that we saw probably will not be replicated in my lifetime, as for Kentucky at least. It's just unbelievable. I'm still in shock by it. I've had all kinds of conversations, phone calls with family and friends, just like. No, everybody's sort of stunned. I know people were saying Malachi Moreno didn't react the way they thought he should have reacted. I think that we don't understand how big of a moment this is for some of these kids. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember the John Pelfrey story in reading the book about that game in '92 and how the players went into shock. He thought he grabbed the basketball that was thrown to Christian Laettner. And until he saw the replay much later, he realized he didn't do that. But he just, that's what happens in these moments. I think you can see it on the faces of some of the Santa Clara players. Just an unbelievable moment. I cannot stop talking about it.
You can keep talking about it.
Yeah.
It's a moment worthy of that. But that wasn't the only storyline of that game, Brandon. Obviously, you brought up Malachi and his reaction. We got his post-game reaction where he was emotional. He was frustrated about his own individual performance, not his best. I mean, there's a reason why he's starting for Kentucky. There's a reason why he has been as productive and consistent as he's been all year and outperforming any expectation anybody really had for him coming in. So Malachi doesn't have to prove anything to anybody at this point. But it wasn't his best performance. We all know that. But how about BG and BG time stepping up right at the perfect... I mean, if he doesn't step up, Kentucky loses that game probably handily. And then Mo Diabate obviously doing what he does and kind of going into takeover mode himself. So those two manning the front court as Malachi was kind of dealing with his first real, not best performance.
Yeah, I thought it was huge to see the way that... You can come on through.
No, you're okay.
I thought it was huge to see the way that Brandon Garrison stepped up in a situation like that. We've seen it kind of in all different ways from this front court. That there's been games where Malachi's been excellent, And Brandon Garrison was, not very good. We've seen Andrei Yelovich have big games. We've seen Modi Abate have big games. And to me, we talked about it before the game, quite honestly, about how, I felt comfortable about what the backcourt's going to bring you. And we saw that in this game. Denzel Aberdeen was great, as usual. Obviously, Colin Chandler wasn't as good, but, Otega Oweh delivers one of the best games you're going to see. And in the front court, it's all about just kind of piecing it together. And we got a really good game collectively from the front court because Modi Abate was so good, because Brandon Garrison was so good. You got 7 rebounds and 3 assists from Andrei Yelovich. I don't think people realize that he had a big impact in this game in 13 minutes. But, Brandon Garrison, that experience is something else, because obviously we see the lows, and the lows get, I think, highlighted on social media and by the fan base, because it's frustrating, because we see what he can do in a game like that, and we've seen it in other games. Like anytime he plays a team from the state of Oklahoma, he's excellent. Apparently now, or in the Central Time Zone, he has games like this. So we just want to see more and more of it. But I think his athleticism and the way he can finish on that short roll when he slips to the basket, the way he can switch on to guards and take away threes, which is obviously what won the game down the stretch, those same things are going to be huge against Iowa State tomorrow as well. So I think this could be another big Modi Abate and Brandon Garrison game, maybe more so just matchup-wise than Yelovich and Malachi Moreno. But we've seen Malachi be great in big games, as you said. So I have no, concerns about what Malachi Moreno is going to mean to this team for however long they get to keep playing. Sometimes it's somebody else's turn, and it was Brandon Garrison time on Friday, that's for sure.
Well, I've got one note on Brandon Garrison, so I thought it was really cool today. He was like a talking point in these press conferences. And it wasn't just Brandon Garrison had a great game, although Mark Pope had a really, really touching quote about that. I mean, people were asking Otzelberg about Brandon Garrison. There were multiple questions about how he's so good at switching as a big man, and how Iowa State is going to prepare for that. So I thought that was really cool. Brandon Garrison, of course, he's on the scouting report, right? He plays a lot. He's the number one backup guy in the middle. But for him to be a focal point, I thought was so neat. And then I wanted to read. We had a great Mark Pope quote about him, about Brandon, just talking about how he has stepped up as a leader this year. And I'll just read the quote. It says, Brandon, you talk about he's had really frustrating moments that have been personally frustrating for him, but watching him grow even more as a man, even more than how he's growing on the court, has been nothing short of astonishing. I know that there are a lot of stuff that people don't see because they just see him on the court, but it's been remarkable to watch him grow, and I couldn't be more proud of him. So I am proud of him too. I'll be really proud of you guys if you like this video and subscribe to the KSR YouTube channel. Every new subscriber we get, Stephen will drink another Long Island iced tea.
Oh, that sounds
so
awesome.
It's going to be a fun day.
Let's get 50 subscribers and let's put him on his behind. Yeah, BG's memeable. He is a living, breathing meme that it kind of fans struggle to take him seriously at times as a damn good, productive basketball player when he's humming.
Are we listening?
That's the thing.
Are we listening?
So I am glad that he has become a real person this week. I hate saying that, but
that's what opening the locker room does too, by the way.
It does. And Tyler Thompson did an unbelievable job humanizing him early with the beautiful storytelling. No, cheap clicks, obviously, because that's not what we do here.
It's a long form storytelling.
It was unbelievable.
Yes. Get more of that on the KSR YouTube.
You can get cheap clicks, or you can get clicks for being great at what you do. Remember that.
Tyler Thompson is you're great at what she did. But this week especially, just to see it with a productive performance in a game that matters, in a, if you don't do this, then Kentucky's season is over kind of moment. It has been just unbelievably cool for him, and we love him. He's our big goofball, and the experience is never dull. There's never a dull moment with the Brandon Garrison experience, and this week especially has been just lovely.
I love that that BG is getting praised. One thing I haven't seen him get praised for enough is making the play of the game. He did, calling timeout in that crucial moment as the ball was loose on the floor. Look, if that goes to a jump ball, it's staying with Santa Clara. Kentucky's fouling. It's not good, guys. That's not a good situation to be in. I mean, they make both the free throws. The game's pretty much over.
And you went up and talked to BG about it.
I wanted to confirm that the announcers got it right. Yes.
I love that interaction. It was kind of like your Chris Farley, Paul McCartney kind of deal where you're like, That was you on the floor calling timeout, right? Like you do understand that you kind of saved the game there, right?
He had like a big smile on his face too.
Yes, that was me.
I was like, all right, just checking. I couldn't help myself to be a fan for a second. I really try to, like, I let Jack ask the questions most of the time. I'll pop in with a question every once in a while, but I try to check that at the door. But I was proud of him. Everything that this kid has shouldered this year, and I can't help. And part of it is we did that story with them, and I got to, you interviewed his mom, and she seems like such a nice lady. He seems like, and I want him to do well, because when we do those stories, I really find myself really liking those guys, and I kind of became a fan of BG over the course of the season. And so seeing him not only play well in that overtime, but save the game by calling that timeout, because you don't know. I mean, like, the Otega was able to get the ball away and get it to Aberdeen, but they called the timeout first. I mean, if he's not signaling TO, again, the ball could go to Santa Clara, but obviously he was great in the overtime too, and had that block at the top of the key was so big. Two blocks, yeah. I mean, he says when you talked to him yesterday in the locker room, said I think I'm the best. 1 through 5 defender,
1 through 5 switchable big in college basketball.
Yep. Do you all agree with that? One of, at least.
There are a lot of them, and it's
he is one of them.
The competition is tough, but he has God-given ability that very few in college basketball have. I think is a very fair assessment of it.
Well, I mean, when you hear Otzelberger's response, it certainly sounds like he thinks he is. I mean, he was asked about Brandon and the ability to switch. He says, with Brandon, he has such great discipline defensively. Not only does he use his length to his benefit, but you always have in the back of your mind, do you really want him to drive to the rim, or do you really want to drive him to the rim and challenge him in? I think there's a psychological thing that happens there. He could block my shot on the perimeter or the rim, or he's going to have the mobility and agility to contain the balance. He poses a huge challenge. So if you had told me that the opposing coaches would be talking about Brandon Garrison this much in the press conference leading up to the second round game, I don't know if I would have believed you, but I'm absolutely loving it. And if you guys are curious, Akari is not in St. Louis, his 2-year-old son, but if Kentucky makes it to Chicago, he will be there. So
Cam
good luck,
Williams'
Charms.
dad is also in the exact same boat. The PTO getting off work deal with the SEC tournament, I think, was a new one starting as early as they did. He wanted to do that, see Cam's debut. Wasn't able to make this trip, but he is going to make the trip to Chicago if Kentucky is able to make it to Chicago. So cool storylines. Make it to Chicago. Let's get the family reunion where it needs to be at the Sweet 16. Brandon, before we close the book on Santa Clara, give me one thing that makes you really confident going into Iowa State from specifically that you saw against Santa Clara that Kentucky was able to do, and one thing that specifically was just a massive red flag that, okay, if we're doing it against Santa Clara, I just don't think they're going to be able to keep up with a wagon that is Iowa State.
I think we're going to go right back to two of the biggest talking points that we had before the Santa Clara game. The thing that makes me confident going forward is that Kentucky did a better job taking care of the ball. Like I said, it was 11 turnovers in an overtime game. I think it was 10 in regulation, which is pretty darn good, especially, again, that's a team, Santa Clara, yes, they did it against, mostly quad 3 and quad 4 competition throughout the year, where they were 22nd in the country in defensive turnover percentage forced. So that's a team that's part of their DNA is forcing turnovers, and Kentucky was below 15% in turnover rate, which was my goal for the game. So I thought that was really big, because now Iowa State's just at a whole other level, because they do that, but they do it against some of the best competition in the country. They're going to send 2 at the ball in every ball screen or handoff situation. They're going to leave people and come steal it. Like anytime that Kentucky's big men are kind of in that zoom action stuff and looking to hand the ball off, they're just going to come from behind and come try to steal it. Now, the thing that gives me some pause going forward is that Santa Clara's a known three-point shooting team, and we allowed them to make 12 threes. That has to get better. Like, Momchilovich and all these guys, like, they are going to shoot, like, they're some of the best shooters in college basketball. And if Kentucky is not disciplined and urgent when it comes to taking these guys away from three-point range, it is going to be a real problem, and it'll get you beat by Iowa State. We obviously saw them almost get beat by Santa Clara due to some of that, and I think that if you lose the three-point battle, which happens when you give up double-digit threes, it's going to be really, really hard to beat Iowa State on Sunday. So that's what I want to see Kentucky improve, is keep the turnovers low. That'll give you a chance to win, but if you can keep them to 8 or fewer threes, that's how you pull off the upset tomorrow.
All right. A couple of quick messages from our friends and sponsors, but mostly friends. I mean, they're partners, but they're best friends of ours. Parlour Pizza, shout out Parlour Pizza. Make Parlour your game day destination from award-winning pizzas like the Doctor or fan favorite Hot Honey Pepperoni to Parlour. Parlour's famous house smoked wings and extensive craft beer selection. Parlour has a menu that will please the whole family. Their location on Harrodsburg Road is just a short drive from Rupp Arena. Don't miss out on the great happy hour Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. Enjoy discounted pints, cocktails, and starters. Parlour is looking forward to celebrating new locations in Hamburg and Richmond. Richmond is opening up as we speak, so I'm very excited to go check those guys out. Whether you're sipping a handcrafted cocktail or sharing one of our signature pizzas, Parlour is a place where great food and good times come together naturally. BetMGM, appreciate our friends at BetMGM as well. 4.5 point underdog going into this one. What did you think of that opening line for favoring, I think, definitely including the Joshua Jefferson news and undecidedness of that one? What did you think of that line?
I thought it would be more. I think the Jefferson uncertainty is one reason why it's not. I feel good about it. Mamilovich. All right, we have to go through the pronunciation guide here.
Momcilovic,
Otzelberger, Dominikas Plata, Killian Toure, Xavier Mitchell. That's easy enough. Sorry, I'm learning on the fly here with these names. It is difficult. But as long as he doesn't get super hot, I think Kentucky has a chance. I am banking on Kentucky. Our beautiful server, we love you. The camera loves you. I just think that Kentucky can use Oweh's shot as a catalyzing moment, like a catalyst, a galvanizing moment. This team has gone through so much, and I think that maybe that's what pulls them through to some level of consistency exactly when they need it. Mark Pope kind of said that today. I asked him, I said, how much as a coach do you let your team linger in that big moment, knowing that what they've gone through this season and how tough it's been, before pushing them, okay, time to turn the page, time to get to what's next. And he said, well, the good thing is we've kind of been doing that all year. We'll have these wild emotional highs, and then we just have to turn the page and move on. He said sometimes that's been for the worse. But he said he really wants his team to use Oweh's shot as momentum, motivation to get more. He said, I want my team to be greedy, to kind of go after more and chase more. So hopefully that's the mentality that they have. I mean, to their credit, I know we asked all the guys how many times they watched that shot, and they all said 1 million times, and it's all over their TikTok feed. But most of them did say, but it's on to the next. So that's, fingers crossed, that's the mentality we've got.
BetMGM, you know what March means for college hoops. Lock in for every game and make your March moment when you bet with boosted odds. Activate your odds boost token for any March matchups. Bet and you'll receive a bigger payout if your bet wins. How it works, your March matchups odds boost token has already been dropped into your account. No opt-in necessary. Add a March matchups bet up to the specified maximum stake to your bet slip. Then activate the token. If you win your bet with the token activated, you'll score extra winnings. That just the Joshua Jefferson dynamic. We talked to him. Stephen, if you want to jump in on that.
No.
Okay. We talked to him today. The difference in quotes between him kind of just one last ditch effort, going to say, hey, I'm not going to rule myself out. I'm going to keep recovering, rehab. Go into tomorrow, see how the night goes and how recovery goes in the morning before making a final call. Otzelberger not as optimistic about the possibility of having Joshua there. Said that he was unlikely to suit up. Best player for the team, one of the best players in college basketball. ESPN ranked every player in the field, and he ranked 8th overall. And I think Evan Mayakawa said that pre-injury, Iowa State was the 8th best team in the entire field, and post-injury, they're the 16th best team in the field if they're unable to go. So, I mean, this dude is a total game changer. He's an All-American for a reason. Do it all, big man, point forward kind of vibe. He's awesome. He is a true game-wrecking talent. How does that change your view going into tomorrow, knowing that there's probably a better chance than not that he's out?
Well, Kentucky fans know better than anybody what losing some key players can be like, and I think it's incredibly significant. Game Wrecker is the best way to describe Joshua Jefferson. He is a two-way beast. This guy's a legitimate he has been named an All-American this season. He is their best defender. He is their best overall rebounder. He's probably their best general scorer. He averages like 4.8 assists per game as their starting four-man. He is a physical freak. Like, Kentucky would have a very, very hard time physically dealing with Joshua Jefferson. So, I mean, you said it, like, even without him, if you take Evan Mia's, stuff at face value, which he does great work, like, okay, yeah, they're still the 16th best team. That's pretty darn good. Quite honestly, it's better than what Kentucky is. But I would rather play the 16th best team than the 8th best team. I think Evan also said that he believed it was worth about 3 points. And I took it from like 7.5 to 4.5. So, I mean, that is very, very significant. I think that now you're going to see them have to go a little bit smaller, which helps Kentucky. I think that they are going to...
I didn't even see when you ordered that.
They're going to... She's walking back through.
I saw a...
I think they're going to go smaller now. They're probably going to start like a 6'5" guy at the 3 and move Milan Momcilovic up to the 4, is my guess. And they don't have a ton of front court depth, really. So I think it's going to allow Kentucky to do a better job on the glass. There's going to be fewer turnovers forced because that's what he does so well. So it is a huge deal to be missing an All-American. That should go without saying.
Let me follow up on that. Is there any potential value also in kind of a win-win for Kentucky that he is trying to give it a go, and we're talking if he does try a 70%, 65% version where, as talented as he is and as the game wrecker that he is, that there could be some areas to expose there health-wise with him physically, with the quickness and the agility and the footwork and all of the things that he is so technically sound, that he that will always be in the back of his mind, even if he is, giving it a go and gonna, try to help however he can. 70% is still gonna be, an area to potentially attack.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said for that. If he does kind of try to give it a go and he's not himself, then maybe that would be an area to exploit. And I think, again, hearkening it back to our own experience, I think Kentucky started playing better once we knew who was going to play and who wasn't going to play. Like when we, even though you wanted to have Jalen Lowe and Jaden Quainance and Cam Williams in there, once we actually knew for a fact they weren't going to be in there, everybody can settle into their role and kind of understand this is how many minutes I'm going to play today. I'm going to be this point in the rotation. This is what is expected of me on a day-to-day basis. And I think that if there's any sort of murkiness to that, it could help. Now I'm also going to say, like, I don't see any way that he plays tomorrow. Like, he can say what he wants to say.
He's still on crutches.
Yeah. I mean, he was in crutches. I'm taking this from you guys might have been around closer to see this too, but I was told that he was not even dressed for their shoot around today. Which, like, generally, if you were even going to give it a go, and this is like a weird coaching thing, but like you probably would have the practice jersey on and you would probably like shoot free throws or something. He did nothing. Again, that's just what I've been told. So I just don't see how he would go tomorrow. But yeah, it's I hate it for Joshua Jefferson as a college basketball fan. I hate it. But yeah, as a Kentucky fan, I would rather play Iowa State without Joshua Jefferson. Like that. Let's be real. So,
but Tyler, there is. I mean, it's March Madness. Funky stuff happens, and I'm not going to personally apologize for taking advantage of a situation where I don't think when the bracket was announced, Iowa State was the one team that I said, yeah, I do not see a path to beating Iowa State at full strength. But now that this has presented itself, there is like, yeah, Jaden Quainance and Cam Williams and Jalen Lowe, like, we've dealt with it all season long. Yeah, it's kind of about time that somebody else has to experience this and kind of have to adjust on the fly and all that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take any advantage that I could possibly get, whether he's playing at 60% or whatever. Again, I'm not expecting that, but if he does make a miraculous recovery overnight and plays, well, then I'll take a 60% version of him and try to find the advantages there. But I appreciate that there is a path there. If there is going to be an upset, that's going to be how it happens.
Well, it's not our fault he got hurt. We weren't out there, causing him to sprain his ankle.
We did.
I hate it. I hate injuries. Obviously, this Iowa State team they came into this tournament thinking they can really, really do something, and they are so confident. I will say that. You all were in the locker room, but on the podium, all three guys who talked were super, super confident. And when asked what they would do without Jefferson, it was the typical next man up stuff. But they were very kind of forceful in their remarks. It's like, we're a deep team. I think Blake Buchanan, one of the guards, said, it's obviously they hated that Jefferson went down, but he went down early in the game, and that kind of gave Iowa State almost a full game to adjust without him. So there is that. But again, you can't replicate an All-American. But yeah, as a Kentucky fan, do I feel guilty that Jefferson may not play? Absolutely not. We went through this last year with Lamont Butler. We went through this year with, Jalen Lowe and Jaden Quaintance. So you just take what you get. It's March. Weird stuff happens, and you just roll with it the best you can.
Stephen, you were there for a lot of the quotes at the Iowa State locker room. Confidence is definitely a way to describe it.
Sure.
Even after the win against Tennessee State the night before, they were just, talking about Kentucky. Yeah, it's Kentucky. They're talented. They have this, they have that, but we have this, we have that as well. They definitely felt like they had that edge to them that, hey, we still have Final Four expectations, whether we're able to have Jefferson or not.
They were also very complimentary of Kentucky, and I think, again, it's still the brand. They still want to win. They still want to beat Kentucky. They would love to go to the Sweet 16 any way they could. I think there's something more special when you go through a team like Kentucky. And we talked to several players. One of them actually compared us to this year's Arizona team. I thought that was high praise.
When I think about this Kentucky team, I think, man,
they're Wildcats. Maybe that's
just
all.
Like Arizona. Yeah.
But I will say, I think injuries suck, but I'm not going to act like I'm not happy about it. I hope the whole team gets injured. That's what I hope we play all of their reserves. But it's they'll be fine. They got plenty of basketball ahead of them. But no, I don't. They're good. I don't want their best players playing. But I will say though, I feel like every time Kentucky gets a break with an injury, they lose anyway. So you had Okeke. You had West Virginia playing Joe Mazzulla as their point guard because I think they're starting. What's that?
Go Celtics.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Yes, your team. Yeah, but I believe he was the backup, or there was a big injury in that West Virginia game. I think right before they played in that Elite Eight game and lost that one. So I don't know, but the Okeke, that one, man, that's the one that I think of all the time.
I picked myself into a Final Four that year. I was like, obviously if Okeke's out, then no chance.
I ran around the house that night after Tyler Hero hits that shot and they get the stop. We're going back to the Final Four. We're going to do it. We just beat the hell out of Auburn. I don't want to think about it. Anyway, they are confident. And they should be. They're the 2 seed. We're the 7. Right. Kentucky now gets to be, the underdogs. And you know what? They've actually done well in that role this year in a lot of spots. So let's not get down by 15, 17 points. I really do believe. I said that the game yesterday would be close and the game on Sunday would be close. I've fully expect it to be. I do not see Iowa State running away from Kentucky. Could be wrong. But even if they build up a big lead, we know this Kentucky team's capable of fighting back. So I'm looking forward to what is probably going to be another game that I will say my dad's not going to be watching all 40 minutes. He will be back outside refreshing the score app, and hopefully it gives him the right score this time.
I was going to say, can we check his score app and make sure it's accurate? Because that broke my heart yesterday.
Brandon, I talked to a couple of the Iowa State reporters with On3, actually, so shout out to the brand On3. And they were just kind of picking my brain about this Kentucky team and, so how did the Gonzaga game happen? How did the, North Carolina, Mizzou, some of the bigger milestone games that went the wrong way for Kentucky, and was asking, and it's man, just felt like the urgency and the concentration and some of those things, and I'm not, I'm struggling to figure out, knowing how talented they are and why the production was what it was, and all of the other things that we had been talking about all season long. Them learning on the fly about this Kentucky team was yes, thank you. How you've been studying this team for 24 hours. Yes, thank you for nailing this. But it did kind of break my heart how, like, they were talking like, well, what this Iowa State team is known for is just their heart and intensity and their focus and their urgency, and like no matter who's on the floor, no matter which five is out there, like we feel totally confident in their ability to force turnovers, get out in transition, be just of an absolute force on both ends of the floor, and just in terms of their mentality. It's like, man, I wish we could talk about this Kentucky team in that way, because the mental side of things has been, I think, 75% of the problem for Kentucky all year.
Absolutely, and I do think, not to make season-long excuses, but some of that does go back to injuries and guys being in and out of the lineup. Like, it's really hard to come together as a team and figure out your roles when your team changes week to week. And but people always think about it on Wednesdays and Saturdays when you're playing the games, but like it's hard when you're practicing 4 times a week, 5 times a week, and one day you have this practice lineup, one day you have this other practice lineup, and it's like you can never even work on things for game day with a consistent group. So I think that is why you saw some of those, such deep valleys and high highs throughout this season. Some of it, as I've said for months, it also was just part of being what Kentucky is a 7 seed. Kentucky is the 25th best team in the country. And like we aren't used to it as Kentucky fans. We don't accept it very well. But when you look at the 24th and the 26th best team in college basketball, their seasons were just like ours. They had 40-point losses. They had really exciting road quad 1 wins against good teams. Like that, a mark of the 25th best team in the country is inconsistency and this kind of roller coaster type thing. So part of it does come with the territory. But you're right. Iowa State has done a great job, and TJ Otega has done a great job of, like, they have an identity. They are going to be tough as nails. They're going to beat the crap out of you defensively. They're going to force turnovers. They're going to have their hands all over you, and they're going to kind of try to dictate the pace or dictate the style of play. I think it was Malachi that had the hammer, not the nail quote today. Like, Iowa State stays being the hammer. They want to be the hammer, and if Kentucky can flip that on them a little bit, that's how you have a chance to win. Because if you're the nail, you're going to get driven in pretty hard and pretty quickly in this one.
Tyler, these beers and drinks are going down nicely, but it's not a country boy.
It's not. I'm really sad that we don't have any country boys. Although I did bring one singular country boy with me to St. Louis, and I still forgot to bring it today. But I will enjoy it back in my hotel room and think fondly of our friends at Country Boy. If you are back in Lexington, go visit them. They've got that awesome new pickleball complex, and that'd be a great place to watch the game. I miss them. I miss my Cliff Jumper. I miss my halfway home. I'm sure you miss your Country Light.
I do. My favorite.
But, yeah, they would be great if they were here. But we'll just have to pack up and take them to Chicago, right?
That's a very, very good point. LG&E and KU, they're always there for you as well, because when the lights go out, it can feel like a full court press, but staying in the know is an easy win. Update your phone number in the LG&E and KU mobile app or in my account. If the power goes out, you'll get play-by-play text from 454-358 with outage updates, safety information, and time estimates for power restoration. Can't text, no problem. We'll call the landline on your account with the same updates, so you're never left in the dark, because in the dark, there's no defense. Actually, the Iowa State defense, but with LG&E and KU. But you've always got a team working to get the lights back on and let you know the game plan. Update your number today at lge-ku.com/outages. Peake, where are you going, buddy?
He needs another Long Island iced tea. No, he's good.
Are those Long Island iced teas going down well for you?
They sure are. Thank you for subscribing. So we have
Fireball Peake, but it's LIT.
LIT. So in college, I used to keep all the mixes for all the LIT in a backpack, and I would take it to parties, and I would like mix drinks like at the party. It was always an LIT.
I love this.
So, Murray State. We have a lot of questions in the chat. Do you want to get to any of those later?
I want questions here in just a second. But
okay.
First, I think we got to talk about our Zoom action.
We went to the zoo.
Zoom
action.
That was a lot of fun, was it not? Okay, so just for backstory, St. Louis Zoo is free. Like, just totally free. You walk in the door, there's a security line, and you just walk through, and they're just like, go enjoy the animals. We're like, yeah, all right, let's go enjoy the animals. And it's not like Central Park Zoo, some of the, one of the smaller, where it's like, oh, here's a, I don't know, a bald eagle, there's a chinchilla, and now here's the exit. It was like, holy crap, there's a Japanese elephant. Oh, there's an Indian elephant over there. Oh, well, here's giraffe. Oh, well, here's hippos. Not just like the tiny baby hippos. This is like massive, big, like killer hippos.
The biggest camel I've ever seen in my life.
Holy crap! Yeah. The hippo was just a monster. I loved.
Did you say camel?
I said camel.
I loved every second of our experience at the St. Louis Zoo.
Yeah, it was a good time. Oh, you want me to elaborate?
Yes.
This is a podcast. I guess I should.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
It was great. It was free. Did we already mention it was free?
Wow, you are drunk, aren't you?
We're trying. No, it was a good time. It was a lot of walking. We've done a lot of walking today.
We have.
Jack will come up with an idea, usually around midnight. The night before, and he'd be like, what do you think we go to this? And luckily this one was not a 5-hour drive away, so I did appreciate that. It was a easy 20 minutes. Now, we were going to sit in traffic for about an hour, but our guy Dylan Ballard pulled off an illegal U-turn and cut that time in half. So we got back in time to where we can get to the Enterprise Center. Yeah.
So I did not join them on this excursion. I went on a run this morning, but I will talk about our awesome night on the hill in St. Louis last night.
Oh.
So if you guys ever come to St. Louis, if you're here this weekend, if you're looking for a place to go get dinner, go to On the Hill. It's an Italian-American neighborhood, kind of like, maybe 15 minutes outside of downtown.
Yep.
So good. Like so many mom-and-pop Italian restaurants, and they're all amazing. And like the one we went to, Antonino's Taverna, actually pretty affordable and just like really good Italian food. And it's just the cutest little neighborhood. We had such a good time, and it was like the perfect way to cap off a really, really good Kentucky basketball day.
4-course meal for $45.
Can't beat that. The three of us split a bottle of wine. It was actually very sweet.
Free zoos and affordable dinner. I mean, this place is so affordable.
I'm not going to lie.
This is the opposite of Nashville. This is the antithesis to Nashville, Tennessee.
Brandon, I'm not going to lie. We talked about this earlier. St. Louis gets a bad rap. There are some dangerous conversations about St. Louis. I mean, there's a curfew going on right now that is from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. So there's some negatives, but I have been thoroughly impressed with all of the extra stuff, and I mean, like this backdrop. I've thoroughly enjoyed the extended stay here in St. Louis.
Well, I think it's like a lot of places. If you know where to be, it's a great time. Like I spent a lot of time in Indianapolis. Downtown Indianapolis gets a bad rap. I have never felt unsafe in downtown Indianapolis.
It's not the safety; it just sucks.
Yeah, fair.
Games there.
But bringing up Indianapolis on a Kentucky podcast is tough. But St. Louis has been awesome. I mean, we've all had a great time here. The zoo was a lot of fun. We got to show your son some animals along the way, which was cool. You got to walk around a zoo without your kids to actually look at the animals yourself some, which was probably cool as well. It was also maybe the busiest place in St. Louis today.
Yeah.
I think everybody else must have been on our group chat that said, hey, let's go to the zoo because it was busy. St. Louis is fun. We won a basketball game. We're sitting outside. We have great views. Zoo's free. What more can you ask for?
Is it like taxpayer funded? Is that how it's free, or is it like what a cool municipal thing that is? I mean, Louisville's got a good zoo, but like that was pretty cool. Like I got to see all that stuff for free. It was actually really cool. I appreciate Jack for making me do it. The Niagara Falls, that was cool. I mean, I'd already seen it, but it was cool to go back. So I appreciate you, Jack, even though I didn't want to do it at first.
So I did that in Vegas when we were at Pango's All-American Camp. Zach Gagan and I were there watching some future Kentucky Wildcats, and I did this exact same thing. Red Rock Canyon, I believe it was. I had an awesome experience several years before there where the temperature wasn't 178 degrees, and it wasn't also after a night of drinking a lot and gambling a lot and combining those feelings of all of it. But I did the exact same thing that you were talking about, a midnight idea of, hey, let's wake up tomorrow and let's go to Red Rock Canyon. And Zach's like, I mean, I guess, but I don't really think that's necessary right now. And I go, no, you'll be fine. Come on. We got their schedules are so weird with that event that it's like the games don't start till 3 p.m. And I'm like, buddy, we can wake up at 10, go out there, and we'll be totally fine. We go. It was like the most miserable experience of our lives. We're sweating, and like it's like a hike in the desert on a bunch of rocks, like just with the sun beating down on you. It was so stupid. It was the dumbest thing. And Zach, like to this day, will bring up like, "Hey, I hate you for that. Like, I really want you to."
I don't think Zach likes Jack very much.
Yeah,
I think he tolerates Jack, but I don't know.
Honestly, well, I feel like that's just kind of the deal with everybody.
Can we, while the new drinks are coming in, can we do a cheers to something? I will tell you as soon as we're cheersing. What's the rules on cheers? Do I have to tell you beforehand, or can we do it in the moment?
We can do it in the moment.
You and your LIT experience, I don't know where this is going to go.
Birthday wish.
To Louisville, losing once again, not making the round of 16. It's been what? Over a decade now that Louisville has not made it to the second weekend. Louisville has owned. Listen to this. This blew my mind. I know I already shared this with you. I don't know if I've told Brandon yet. When I was 15 years old, Louisville went to a Final Four, and I thought it was the worst thing that could happen in my life. I didn't have a very tough life, okay? So I thought that was like the worst thing that could possibly happen. Thank you, Illinois. All the players, the Fighting Illini from 2005, huge fan. Thank you for knocking out Louisville. I thought when I was 15, Louisville is just going to be good forever, and I'm going to have to deal with these fans and all my friends in Louisville who are who are Louisville fans. I didn't know how I was going to deal with it. Rick Pitino was going to end up bringing a title to them, and he sort of did. They have only made it to the second weekend 6 times since 2005. We're 20 years since that. They've only made the second weekend 6 times, and 3 of those have been taken away. So according to NCAA records, they have only made it to the Sweet 16 3 times in 20 years. What a poverty program. What a joke of a program. Big Game Pat fails again. I love it. And you know what? I definitely don't want to hear them.
This isn't going to backfire at all.
I don't want to hear them complain about injuries.
We're going to go to 6.
Look, I know that we don't really have, but as bad as Kentucky, if we ever get that bad, I will not be doing this shop because I won't be watching Kentucky basketball anymore. I don't know how Louisville fans are still doing it. How are you watching your team still? What an embarrassment to the state. At one point, I used to argue that Kentucky-Louisville was better than Duke-North Carolina, and I look like an idiot for ever making that argument because they suck. They are forever terrible now. I don't understand how it got to be this bad, but we're 20 years, 6 times in 20 years, what a joke. I'm sorry. I'm fired up. I used to make that argument all the time, and I can't because Louisville sucks so much. And I know Kentucky, we haven't been Kentucky, but really, though, they haven't made it to the Sweet 16 in a decade. Are we serious? You know how much? I've been married twice since the last time that they have made it to the Sweet 16.
I just love it because so we're 45 minutes into this show and we finally get the Stephen rant. It builds and it builds and it builds, and I just love it. And once Kentucky beats Iowa State tomorrow, I will be right there with you. Hopefully this won't be clipped and circulated around Cardinal Nation because I don't think they care enough anymore, to be quite honest.
Until then, I'm not going to say a single word.
Right.
Kentucky has to get to that point, but then I will be right there drinking those. What's this, 9th for you? 9 LITs?
Well, number 9. Keep subscribing.
The number 9, it's everywhere, guys.
It is everywhere. All right, our favorite game is back.
Oh,
Shout out to our friends at SeatGeek. All right, Mizzou getting knocked out. We knew it was going to impact the ticket sales, but Kentucky has to take advantage of this because if I have one gripe of many gripes of how everything unfolded against Santa Clara, BBN not your best effort. Not gonna lie, like we saw the best of the best in Nashville, and I get it. There's I don't want to say apathy, but I think with this fan base, it's like you got to earn it at this point with this season. But they earned it. We got the win. Now we're in the round of 32. Big time matchup, big time opportunity. We got to show up, man. Like the crowd was like Santa Clara fans outperformed BBN on night 1. I don't appreciate that. We got to have a better performance for BBN, and they can do that with our friends at SeatGeek. I was going to ask you. What is your guess on the get-in price for tomorrow in our session at the NCAA tournament?
So we're the second game. The first game is Purdue-Miami. So there will be Purdue fans, not a lot of Miami fans. I know it's going to be more expensive because of all the Iowa State fans. But with SeatGeek, it won't be because they will save you money. I will go with $275.
For a get-in price?
Yeah.
Wow. I think BBN is going to love it. Let's go around the table. Your guess.
Well, I mean, as somebody who has to buy tickets, unlike you guys, I do have a little bit more experience with this. But I mean, $250 would seem awesome.
Oh, I was going to say $240.
Price is right.
Yeah, $1.
$124.
I mean, just go to the game.
Get your butt in your car seat right now and drive to St. Louis. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? $124 get-in price to watch the Cats beat Iowa State tomorrow?
When's the last time Kentucky beat a 2-seed in the NCAA tournament?
The record is pretty impressive, actually.
Really? But when's the last time they did it? They haven't had many opportunities, really.
You're the one that knows this.
This is your.
I'm racking my brain right now, and I can't think of it because Baylor was a 3-seed in 2012. 2015 was West Virginia too. Or who's the 2-seed in 20? Yeah. Oh, Notre Dame, but they were 3. Yeah, because West Virginia was like a 4.
Here's the stat: Kentucky is 8-3 all time against 2 seeds, 3-0 when Kentucky is a 4-seed or worse. That's the stat.
Really?
Yeah.
Who have they? I really can't think the last time they beat a 2-seed, honestly. Because 2011 they didn't have to, right? North Carolina. Carolina would have been a 2-seed in 2011 in the Elite 8.
If you're watching.
Yeah, Corey, get in the chat. It might be 2011. That's kind of crazy, right?
Radio.
Yeah, no. We'll keep guessing until somebody gets it in the chat. No, that's pretty wild. What I'm saying is you get a chance to witness history, okay?
Yes. SeatGeek is KSR's official ticketing partner in March with over 35 million downloads. SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and more. But none of them matter except for tomorrow at this point. Get your butt in the car. Get to St. Louis with our friends at SeatGeek. KSR 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. 10% off any tickets. Promo code KSR10. Download the SeatGeek app and take advantage. Restrictions apply. Thanks again to the team at SeatGeek. I'm stunned at that.
Michigan,
at that gospel.
2014.
That's the one.
There we go.
One.
Yeah, where that run started.
There are a lot of 2014 references to all of this. There are a lot of 2014 references. All right, questions from the chat. Let's get this one rolling.
I was not prepared for this. First one I see. Somebody asked about Cam Williams. Why did Cam Williams not play more?
That's a you question.
There's another you question too.
I think with Cam, like, you know, you're still. I mean, we're in that sort of awkward phase where you're, you know, just sort of feeding him back into the lineup and, you know, getting his legs under him, making sure the conditioning is there. I'm not going to use the word fatigue, but, you know, making sure he's conditioned in a way to withstand the longer rotations and, you know, certainly just, you know, all the stress that comes with an NCAA tournament game. Also, you know, matchup-wise, like, you know, Santa Clara plays some smaller guards and then some bigger forwards. So I think that, like, you know, keeping the physicality of Mo in there, and obviously he was playing so well. I think Cam's role became, when he was at his best, he was like as a small ball 4. Well, when Mo's playing that well, you're not going to get that many minutes at the 4. So I just think, you know, but, you know, quite frankly, if Colin Chandler is not going to make as many shots, you probably have to roll Cam Williams out there and see if he'll make the shots. He made a huge one in the game yesterday. I mean, obviously we needed every single point we got, but that was a massive shot for Cam. And quite frankly, we're at our best defensively when Cam is in the lineup. So yeah, I'm with the commenter. I would not mind seeing more Cam Williams, but obviously that means less of somebody else too. That's the tough thing of, you know, minutes are a zero-sum game.
Why do BG and Mo play together and Yelovich and Moreno together? Seems wrong. What am I missing? It's what Uncle Daddy wants to know.
Uncle Daddy.
Why do they play? I mean, I don't think we really saw BG and Moreno play much together. Yeah. So,
he said they did.
Okay. I don't believe we saw that on Friday, but I mean.
My bad. Why do BG and Mo play together?
Why do BG and Mo play together?
Mo, Moreno, Muhammad.
Gotcha. Okay. Yes.
Abate.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's really necessarily any rhyme or reason behind it other than, yesterday was because they were playing the best. Like, they earned the minutes. They needed to be in the game. I think that's, again, thinking about situationally, that's your better defensive lineup. Again, we talked about what BG can do with switching. Mo Diabate might be the best kind of like overall defender on the team, quite frankly. And like I said yesterday, in the NCAA tournament, you have to ride the hot hand. You have to win the game today. And those two guys were playing the best, so they got the minutes. It could be it could be Yelovich and Moreno tomorrow, or it could be any number of different combinations. So yeah, this time of year, you're riding the hot hand. Whatever's working they're going to get extended minutes, more rotations, and that's what we saw yesterday.
I know you're somebody who thinks that the starting lineup matters more than just about anything else, and that's a massive talking point that is so important to you. Would you start BG and Mo Diabate tomorrow against Iowa State?
Yeah. So I was asked this on Twitter this morning. You and I discussed it during Zoo action.
Don't let them know that we've already.
I think it's fun context. I think it's fun context.
We're supposed to act like we come across as a surprise.
We were looking at all the fun things, and we were having fun discussions.
We were probably looking at the hippo at that point.
Yeah.
Going, wow, that's a massive hippo.
That's a hippo.
By the way,
but
Mo and BG, would you start them together?
Honestly, I wouldn't, because at this point, I'm not big into the politics of starting and not starting. But to me, there's no reason to disrupt what you've been doing for a couple months. At this point, I think that there's ways to play them enough minutes where it's still meaningful, and also, quite frankly, it's not like we haven't. Again, I'll say it again, Brandon Garrison's had plenty of bad moments this season. There's been games where Mo Diabate hasn't been overly effective. So it's not like we have this month-long sample size of those are clearly your guys. That's not necessarily the case. To me, I would rather kind of almost give a vote of confidence, quite frankly, to Malachi and say, hey, you're still our starting five-man. We trust you.
That's a great point.
think that you are, you're going to be a part of us winning games moving forward in the NCAA tournament, and if he's not, if tomorrow's not his day either, then BG will play 28 minutes and he'll play 12. That's just how it goes.
What is your?
We were updating the game scores. So Duke is only leading TCU by 6 with 12 minutes left in the second half. But we were talking about Malachi, and you wrote a great story about this morning with his quotes from yesterday about how disappointed he was in himself in his first NCAA tournament game. And that's a lot of pressure. He was one of the players at the podium today, and he was the first to admit, someone asked him about his first tournament game and how he worked through the emotions of that and how he felt he did. And he put his hands up. He was like, it was definitely crazy being a little kid, making all the brackets, watching the games. It's a dream come true. I think the only thing that caught me unexpected, I didn't understand what the atmosphere would be. You can only hear so much of the noise on TV. Hearing it in person was a crazy feeling. And, I think it overwhelmed him a little bit, to be fair.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be wonderful if it was a minor setback for a major comeback in the second round?
He will be my Parlour Pizza pregame. I think we're going to do it with, I don't know if we're going to do a walk and talk or whatever, but at the end of this, Malachi Moreno is going to be my MVP. Whatever it is. It's time.
I would love to see that.
I believe in him. I believe in Malachi Moreno. More questions from the chat, Steve-O.
Yeah. Are BG and Mo the key to getting to next weekend? They said Chandler is cold the last 6 games. So they kind of said that maybe the COD, AOC, three-headed goat isn't really working because Chandler's missing shots. Do you think Chandler has a big game, or do you think that BG and Mo are going to be the key? I forgot about one other play BG did. When I was rewatching the game last night. That play where Kentucky got 3 or 4 offensive rebounds and BG dove into the photographers to save the ball in. That was another huge Brandon Garrison play. So, what do you guys think about that? Is it BG and Mo? Are they the ones that are going to get this team through to the round of 16?
I'll speak. You will speak on BG and Mo. I'll speak on Colin. Yes, I think Colin. There's that weird dynamic for me where I like surviving and advancing with guys missing shots in the sense of that means that they know that in their mind they're like, hey, I'm due. I'm going to keep firing away. I'm at some point shots are going to fall for me. And Colin going for 1 for 8 against Santa Clara. I think, what was it, 1 for 9? Best case scenario with a win, to going into a game where it's like at some point something's got to give with the 3-point shooting, and Colin more than anybody. This is his event. Like, this is when last year we kind of saw his gutsy Stones moments of like, I can't believe he took that shot. I can't believe he has the audacity to fire away here. This feels like the right spot for Colin Chandler to get back to his shot making ways with his cheese ball. Is that what we decided that he said? I think the cheese ball is going to fall for one Colin Chandler tomorrow.
I hope so. He needs it. I tweeted out this morning. He's 6 for 28 from 3 in the last 6 games, which is 21.4% for the math majors at home. Not very good, but I mean, shooters can be streaky. So he was also unworldly hot for a while. What water generally finds its level. You'll see guys get hot. You'll see them come back down to earth a little bit. And I think that's what we're going through with Colin Chandler right now. In terms of the BG and Mo side of it, again, like I don't think I said it the last time when against Oklahoma when BG went insane and had this great game. Like, okay, we haven't all of a sudden unlocked Brandon Garrison. Like, I'm not saying he's not going to have a great game, but like that's just the way things work. It's very situational. It's very opponent driven at times. I do think that the physicality and athleticism of Mo Diabate and Brandon Garrison match up as good or better with Iowa State than maybe what Malachi and Andrei Yelovich bring. But like, you also just have to understand how it works. Like, what if Andrei Yelovich comes out and makes 2 threes in the first 6 possessions? What if Malachi Moreno, happens to be open on the roll and gets a big dunk and gets a couple offensive rebounds? Like, all of a sudden, then now they're playing with all this confidence, and they're going to want to have great games. So to me, I mean, it's the point of the whole season. Like, it's been inconsistent enough. I would think at this point we would understand we're never going to know who it's going to be the next day.
Cats. Finally, Big Blue Nation is arriving.
I have hated how many Iowa State fans
there
have been. Gosh, there's so many. Questions? Are we done with?
Sorry.
We'll start wrapping this thing up.
Go ahead. Go ahead and start wrapping it up. We'll find one more. Give them time for one more question. One more question in the chat. Next question I see pop up. Captain Crash 21, one of our new moderators. He wants to know who is picking up the tab. I said this will be a great debate.
Actually, I didn't see him before. At the beginning of all.
I don't remember any of that. That was 9 LITs ago, Jack.
Didn't you say that you were paying for all of this?
I said I was going to buy everyone a drink, except for Brandon. Actually, no, Brandon got us the Weller yesterday, so all right, Brandon too. I'll buy one drink for everybody. Sweet. You all bought stuff for me this whole weekend, so I mean.
Yes, we have.
Look at this guy.
Be assertive.
Man,
the weekend. Kentucky needs to be assertive tomorrow, because if there was a key word to describe Iowa State in all of these press conferences, it was physical, relentless, whatever, hammer the nail, whatever Mark Fox is saying to Malachi Moreno was. I got a little terrified hearing them talk about that. But yeah, we're going to be assertive. Kentucky's going to be assertive. BBN is going to come in here and crash this Iowa State and volleyball party, because there's some volleyball convention going on.
Point. Oh my gosh, there are so many 14-year-old volleyball players.
That is weird.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap this thing up. Let's get out of here. We got a big old Kentucky basketball game to win tomorrow. I'm a little scared.
Oh, got a great question.
Okay.
From it says the 705 crew. They want to know who is going to win tomorrow.
Great
question of the night.
That is a great question, 705.
Let's go, Cats.
Inside joke. Go Cats.
Hey, let's go.
Steven,
want to sort of chant? No?
A little drunk for my liking for this show. Yes, I'm a little nervous. Like, the matchup,
in the most ridiculous manner.
The matchup itself has scared me from day one. I am a little more confident with Jefferson likely out, but man, Iowa State, they're deserving. This is not one that you overlook and think that like, oh yeah, they'll roll over and die. We can overlook them. No, this is one that Kentucky has to bring its A game, and we'll see how they respond. So let's give our Parlour Pizza pregame predictions officially to put our money where our mouth is. Tyler Thompson, what are you going with for tomorrow?
I haven't had time to come up with my score prediction, and Iowa State's a really good team, even without Jefferson. I think that Oweh's shot could be the catalyst for something great. It may not be Final Four great, but it could be second weekend of the NCAA tournament great. And I think that it's going to bring this group together. They're not going to give up. I'm going to go with Kentucky in a close one. I'll go Cats 79, Iowa State 76. It'll be another nail biter. Fingers crossed. But even if it doesn't go that way, BBN, we had a really fun Friday. So, I'm very, very grateful for that. And a fun Saturday. Yeah. This has been an awesome Saturday. But, yeah, fingers crossed.
You know what I said when I was like, why am I not as excited as I should be? I should be so excited for this. And then we get that moment yesterday. And so how can I possibly predict anything else other than a Kentucky victory for tomorrow? Because now I'm feeling the March Madness vibes. I'm such a loser for coming into this just thinking,
correct,
we're going to lose. Who cares? Let's get the season over. We just got one of the greatest moments, and now with every win, that moment only becomes greater, and it's going to happen tomorrow, and everyone's going to get back on board. All of Big Blue Nation's going to get behind this team. They're going to subscribe to KSR on YouTube. They're going to hit that like button, and we're going to roll to an 8-point win, and we're going to feel so good about this. Somebody said Kentucky's winning on a half-court buzzer beater. That would just be, why not? Let's do that too. But yeah, no, Kentucky's going to win tomorrow. They're going to get it done. I don't know that this is going to be a 2014 run. I really don't want to play Tennessee again, and Virginia's pretty good. But, man, if this team can just do this and get us to Sweet 16, it will feel like so much of a win. And the first time beating a 2 seed since 2014.
All right. I don't know if we'll get the same level of optimism for you.
No, we're doing it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
I mean, Not having Joshua Jefferson changes everything. It really does. I mean,
Do you believe this? Do you believe what you're saying?
Yes, I believe what I'm saying. I mean, I've only missed 4 picks in my bracket so far, so we're rolling. I have Iowa State in my Final Four, but my bracket's about to get busted. I mean, he's an All-American. He's not going to play. That makes a big difference. And I think sometimes there is something galvanizing about getting a lucky win in the NCAA tournament. But let's call it what it is. Like, making that shot is luck. It just is. And there's so many things that had to break right.
Lost the 40 minutes.
Yes, yeah, I loved when you brought that up to me yesterday in the hotel lobby when you were like, the clock was at 0 and they had more points than Kentucky. I didn't really think about it that way, but it's interesting.
That's a great
Yeah, it's a very Stephen Peake thing to say. But and then also, like, you have the timeout call with Brandon Garrison that you brought up. You have Herb Sendek not getting a timeout call. That was big.
Can you explain the rule? Tell me why people are wrong for saying the refs got it wrong.
Well, so, I mean, there's really a couple explanations for it. But, I mean, first of all, the officials have to, like, grant the timeout. They have to acknowledge it. And I think by the time he got their attention, whether he was calling it first or not, ultimately is irrelevant. It's like, it's just like seeing a try. Sometimes there's a travel, the refs miss it. Sometimes there's a timeout call and the refs miss it. Like, but by the time he got their attention, Otega Oweh had the ball in his hands, and at that point, you cannot grant a timeout.
Well, I think there was a screenshot that he was signaling for it as Aberdeen had the ball, but the rule is that once Aberdeen has the ball, they can't call timeout.
Once he has the ball out of bounds,
okay, yeah,
he has to clear out of bounds. So yeah, I mean, it's iffy.
You said he should have been coming down the court saying, if it goes in, timeout.
Yeah, well, yeah, and
that's what a coach should do.
And that's what's tough about it. Like, the coach in me feels bad for Herb Sendek. He has been a head coach for 32 years. And quite frank, like, I don't want to say he was asleep at the wheel, but, like, I texted so many coaches, high school, college, yesterday, of like, this is a good example of no matter how long you do this, like, you have to be locked in, because this is one of the biggest moments in his coaching career, and he's going to think about that every day for the rest of his life. That, yes, like, a lot of times when that shot is in the air, you're walking to the official, timeout if it goes, timeout if it goes, timeout if it goes. So it's already kind of taken care of, and he was watching, he was being a fan, and it ultimately cost him the game. But where I was going originally was, like, I do think that sometimes getting lucky can galvanize a team, and you're going to, like, now you're playing with house money. Now you're playing free, and you can come out, I think, loose enough in a good way on Sunday and play well enough to win. And I'm going to go, let's see, score-wise, 75-71.
Wow.
And I do think I think we get a bounce-back Colin Chandler performance. There are a lot of open shots to be had. There's a lot of open shots to be had if you don't turn it over against Iowa State, just like against Santa Clara. The way they guard the ball screens, you're going to be able to kick it out some and find open guys. They don't care that it's Colin Chandler. That's just the way they're going to rotate. He's going to get up 9 threes again. I think he's going to make 5 of them when we win the game.
Whoa. Oh, gosh. Yeah. All right. Well, let's do it. I'm not going to not do a clean sweep here. Kentucky wins 80-77, and Malachi Moreno is my game MVP. Took too much BS from the fan base after this one. I hated that. I think he is more than capable. I feel he has responded really well in these types of moments. When he has a game where he has struggled, he has responded in a big way, and I think he is going to control and anchor the middle. I think shots are going to fall in general. I also agree that this is going to be a good Colin Chandler day, as I said earlier, and I think Kentucky hits a dozen three-pointers in that one.
Whoa.
A dozen.
If they make a dozen threes, they're winning the game. Yeah.
A dozen three-pointers to advance to the Sweet 16, and then we can gloat about Louisville's failures at that point. But I'm not going to do it until tomorrow night.
You go to Chicago. Shout out Chicago.
Yeah, I'm still gonna enjoy Louisville losing. I don't care. It's my favorite thing about the tournament is when Louisville loses, and that's one part of them being back to playing tournaments. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but a few years ago they won 4 games. So, I mean, come on. I'm going to hate on Louisville. I love it when they lose. It's when I can really enjoy the tournament. Until then, I don't really want too many upsets because they're usually a high seed and they can then go on a run.
Well, Louisville fans, if you're here to clip that, please like and subscribe to the channel. We would really appreciate it.
They're here anyway. They're already subscribed. They've been subscribed the whole time. For Jack, for Tyler, for Drunk Steven, and for Brandon Ramsey. Let's go win a freaking basketball game. Let's go to the Sweet 16, and we will see you in Chicago following a massive victory for the Cats and celebratory rapid reaction this time tomorrow night.
Woo!
Anybody?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Go Cats.
Cats.
Still hot.